Welcome to a quick recap of episode 6 from The Last of Us. Having just witnessed some absolutely heart-wrenching scenes rounding out the prior episode, Joel and Ellie keep pursuing their quest of moral perfection by taking hostage an elderly lady and her husband in some remote house in the arsenal of nowhere, because that is exactly what everyone does when you're lost and you want to find your exact location on a map. Having been informed as to the dangers of a perpetual journey west, Joel and Ellie depart with smiles on their faces as they venture to the River of Death. Upon approach and thinking that the coast is clear, they then get surrounded by cowboy-looking chaps and chapesses. A yappy, fearsome, yet equally little adorable dog is let loose to sniff out for any infection. Joel, the champion of courage, leaps to intervene and kills the dog. Just kidding, he stands there like a wuss and lets the prospect of Ellie getting ravaged by the mutt float on by. Thankfully, Ellie lives, and one of the lasses lets them ride. They make it to some Viking-esque wooden fort to be greeted by civilization. A Starbucks, a Mackey's, and a spoon stand tall. If only. They plod through, and Joel calls out someone who he thinks is Tommy, and lo and behold it is. The two embrace and everyone sheds a tear. They hash out what's happened with the lady present, who turns out to be Tommy's wife, and Joel learns that she's been responsible for the radio silence, which makes him a bit miffed. Ellie gets to experience what a cinema feels like, and Joel reveals his fragile nature in a therapy session with his bro. Joel has a midlife existential crisis, but instead of impulse buying a Porsche, he considers leaving Ellie and his brother. But overnight he has a spiritual awakening and decides not to do that. Joel and Ellie head west to try and find the Firefly base camp, and end up attending university. Aghast at the extortionate price of attendance, the two leave the deserted place after seeing some raiders and some PG tips monkeys. But before they do, they eye up a location on yet another map. Sneaking out the back door like you would on a bad date, Joel is caught by the waiter, who stabs him in the back. An interesting way to say you haven't paid. Joel battles out Street Fighter style with this cheeky fella, snapping his neck, only then to see the entree knife stuck in his back. He climbs on the horsey and gallops off into the sunset like Butch Cassidy, all whilst Ellie takes some wild-ass sidearm potshots. They've made it clear, but before long, Joel passes out from the exhaustion of being a dad. Or was it because he lost too much blood? Can't remember. And that concludes episode 6 of season 1 of The Last of Us. Tune in next week to see if Joel is going to wake up to his hospital bill.